Yeah, I figured they, I've always seen a picture where you would cover up.
Hello. Hey there. Boy, I see a whole bunch of familiar faces in the gallery tonight. Hey, thank you all for coming out tonight. As you guys know, this will be the last time I'll say welcome to the Shafer Gallery. I'm Dave Barnes, director, and so glad you guys came out this evening. And tonight we have a show of posters, graphic designs. And posters we're all aware of, we're all familiar with them. We use them to advertise things, to get people's interest, to let them know when stuff's happening, okay? But posters can be more than that. Posters are also works of art. And somebody, in my opinion, has the privilege and the joy of sitting down in the old days, it used to be a drawing table, and a amber lift and swivel knives and cut screens and whatnot, and would design those posters. Today, we do it on computers. But that time spent designing the poster puts the poster designer into the same space as an artist at a painting at an easel, okay? Or a playwright at their typewriter. It's the same creative process. And the works that you see in the gallery tonight are posters that were created over the last 13 years by folks here at the Shafer Gallery. Now, I did a bunch of them, okay? I did a lot of them. Alyssa Blevin, she did a few of them. Scott Boehm, I don't know if Scott's here, okay? He will be. Scott Boehm, he did a few of them. He did some of them here. So they really reflect the creative output of all the people who have been staff members, which have all been artists, okay? As they try to present an image that will communicate to people something of the heart and the soul that's going to be presented. For me, since I had a hand in a lot of them, each one of them is like a little time capsule. It takes me back to that show. And I remember meeting that artist, or I remember what was going on while I was designing that poster. So posters can also function as histories of institutions, not just promotions of an event. So as you walk through the Shafer Gallery tonight, you're walking through the history of the Shafer Gallery for the last 13 years. And it's been, for me, a really wonderful history. It has been far and beyond the most meaningful and significant period of my life. And I can say that it is difficult for me to have to, step aside and to move on to bigger and grander things and to leave the Shafer Gallery behind. People are always supposed to say, well, it wasn't like the facilities. What was important about the job, what really made me love the job was the people. That's what you're supposed to say. But you know what? I kind of like the gallery itself. I like the space. I like being in here. I like coming in here in the morning and turning on the lights and the electronics, I like spending time in the afternoon sitting in that rocking chair back there and just sort of meditating, okay? It's been a wonderful space. And of course, it's a space that's been full of encounters with wonderful people. And there's a couple of people I just want to point out, because it would really, really be horrible for me not to acknowledge how significant they were and have been in the life of the gallery and in my life as the director of the gallery. And one of those people who is behind the scenes, I'd like to give a little shout out to Rick Beeler. Rick Beeler has been a friend of the gallery since the very first day it opened. And as a psychologist and a humanist, Rick was always one that I could turn to for insightful advice. He was on the gallery committee for many, many years. And he was also always available when we needed an extra hand or if I just needed some moral support. Okay? I wanted to point out him in particular. Of course, there's many, many others I could talk about. I just wanted to make sure that when Scott gets here, I want to make a point of letting you know that Scott Boehm, who was the gallery associate for 7 years, was so important to the development of this gallery. This week, and this last week, I have heard so much hyperbolic talk about Dave Barnes and what he did for the gallery and how he took the gallery from this little, it was actually a shack on the edge of town, where they used to sell bait, and he turned that little bait shop into this incredible art gallery. Well, that's totally bogus. Whatever happened in the gallery was a team effort, and Scott was so important and so instrumental in making the gallery what I believe to be it is today, which is a very respected arts institution that any city, town in Kansas would be very, very, very proud to call their own. Okay? At any rate, there's another fellow whose name I have to mention tonight, and that was for the last few years, we had a kind of visiting guest artist who sat up in the front of the gallery and drew every day. And his name was Robert Joy. Most of us knew him as Scarlett. And we miss him. And he was important because his gentleness and his outgoingness set a tone in the gallery, which I hope is the reason why people like the gallery as much for the art and certainly as much for that crotchety old director, is that they feel like they can come to the gallery and it's a place where they can be safe. They can be at peace. They can share their thoughts and their feelings about what they're looking at or even what they're experiencing in their personal lives. That's always been an important part of how I envisioned the function of the gallery. So, at any rate, my parting shot here, before I move away from the front of this little proscenium, is that, there's only two places in life that you can make decisions from. And one of those places is a place of fear. And decisions based upon fear, fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of adversity, fear of just not making it work, are almost always destined to flop. But the other place that you can make decisions from is a place of love. Love of the art, love of the process, love of the people who come into the gallery, love of the community. And when decisions are based upon love, they're always going to rise to the surface. They're always going to fly. Okay? And yeah, I wrote a poem tonight, reading that. It's my poem by David Barnes. Okay? Decisions based upon fear don't go nowhere. Decisions based upon love shine with light from above. Thank you very much. And I would like to introduce to you the current director of the Shafer Memorial Gallery, Alyssa.
Hi. Thank you, Dave. He's running away. Well, I'm really glad you guys all came out tonight to help us go back through the last 13 years that Dave has been director. He has done a wonderful job. I know he says that it's bogus, that but he really has turned the gallery from something that was maybe a little bit more student run to something that has a lot more direction about where it's going, and I'd like to keep that going myself. And I'm just so happy that we had such a great turnout. Thank you guys for all being understanding about the ribbon cutting being delayed. We'll have details out about when that will be. And I know that Lindsay would like to say some words. She is.
I forgot my mic. I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay.
I don't normally need one.
But we want to make sure that we get you picked up on the video.
So sorry. Hi, I'm Lindsay Bogner. I'm the Executive Director of Institutional Advancement. Dave likes to call me his ex-boss now, which is a little weird. I am a very sad replacement for Dr. Carl Heilman, who can't make it tonight, so I wanted to come in. And one of the things I wanted to kind of share with you as Dave is leaving, I started here 2 years ago, and I can't see him, but Dave has been a wonderful mentor, and I am so pleased that I have been able to work with him and get started here. I'm going to cry, Dave. I thought I'd do fine. But we will miss him in the gallery when he's not here every day, but I do know he'll be back lots because I've told him he has to. This is my last directive as his boss. But on behalf of Barton Community College, Dave, if you would come join me up here. We have a tradition at Barton where as an employee retires, we make them a permanent fixture on our campus. And so Dave has a brick in our retirement circle. And this is a small representation of that.
Oh, it's a
little brick. Oh, yes. I'm not good at introducing exhibits. That's you guys. Dave wanted me to remind you that he, in addition to the posters in the gallery today for the exhibition, there is also a small pot in the back that is filled with Dave's original artwork, in addition to all of the original artwork on the walls already. But these are not posters, so please also check out that area back there. Did I do okay?
You did great.
Okay.
You got a second thing going on.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so. Thank you all so much for coming.